Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I am here on the 27th of September recording the astrology forecast for the week of Sunday, September 28th through Saturday, October 4th. We are still in the midst of eclipse season. The new moon that took place just last week was the last formal eclipse of eclipse season, but there's two reasons why the eclipse season is going to be with us for a little bit more time. The first is that we're in a lunar cycle. So that was a new moon. We're going to have a full moon here next week, and then we're going to have that whole lunar cycle come to a close. So we're still very much in the potent soup of the downloads, especially as we're apexing to a full moon here. This week is going to be part of that crescendo into the apex of realizations that are still about those themes of eclipses. And I mentioned in the eclipse broadcast, the podcast, that eclipses are felt a little bit before, but definitely 6 months after they occur. So this is all fresh stuff. And I wanted to talk about one of the themes that's going on here. It's part of October, it's part of eclipse season. It's the theme of Mars in the sign of Scorpio. It's seen by astrologers known by astrologers to be a little bit of a powerhouse placement. And this is because in the olden days, Mars was ruled, before we discovered Pluto, Scorpio was ruled by Mars. Scorpio is now modernly ruled by Pluto. So there's a little bit of simpatico energy with both um, Pluto and Mars in the energy of Scorpio. So it kind of means that there's a force. We are a force to be reckoned with, and the things that are coming up for us can be very powerful. And one of the themes of Mars and Scorpio is not to settle for anything less than what our soul knows to be our desire. Mars is going to be in Scorpio from the 22nd of September. So it actually dipped in last week, as I mentioned, but we're really going to start to feel the energy now. And it's going to be there until the 4th of November. And the last time we had these energies was actually the fall of 2023. So if you think back to that time, it's a little bit of the themes. And I'll see two more points before I get to the weekly forecast. Superficial things are coming to a close. Those kind of chit chats that we do where we're just shooting the breeze, we're now really in this sense of meaning and merging and being the captain of our ship. We're not interested in just fluffy stuff, filler. We're interested in the actual quality. So there's this sense of emotional depth here. And there's a sense of being able to use your own personal power for the, executing on the things that you find to be valuable. So with that, let's get to what's going on Sunday, the 28th of September. We have Mars in the sign of Scorpio that I just told you about. Mars is going to be biquintile Saturn in Pisces. And this is going to give us some opportunities for refining ourselves creatively. So if Saturn is giving us some structure and some shrinkage and some boundaries so that we can really be here now, there's going to be this sense of, okay, how can I work with what I've got? It's this idea of upcycling comes to mind, right? When you find something and then you make it into something. And so that's going to be kind of the energy that's kicking off the week. We also have on Sunday Venus in Virgo, sesquiquadrate Chiron in Aries. And this means we might feel or experience some kind of an inner conflict. But the way out, and this is very Mars and Scorpio, choose you. This week is very much about intuition and self-care and not putting up with things that don't serve us. The realizations that might be coming towards this full moon, which I'll get to in the podcast next week. But if there is anything that is less than ideal that we've just kind of been tolerating, we're going to get a sense of that. And the idea here is to choose you. We also have Mercury in Libra quincunx the North Node in Pisces. And this means this is how the week starts off a little bit, and the theme comes back towards the end. And this means that there's going to be some long-term goals, long-term effort might be required for us to really get our communications down right with the the things we really want to say and the ways that we really want to be. So there's communication upgrades going on for us individually, but also definitely for the collective. So the idea is to keep being you and to keep at it and to know that this is a little bit of a longer term project that we're in here with the collective now. Now, notably, this week we have not a lot going on in terms of like just general aspects on Monday and Tuesday, but we have Wednesday being active again with Mars in Scorpio, being by quintile, this time Neptune. So if we're going to be going over things and recreating things, Neptune, the magnetic planet of illusion and delusion, is going to be inspiring us to dig deeper, to trust our intuition, to be that enigmatic force that cuts through the chaff, as it were, to be the one that can really, for ourselves first and foremost, look for what we feel is true. There's a lot of stuff out there, and this is really about, maybe there's even a little bit of alone time here, or at least internal time, so that we can hear ourselves vibrate, so we can hear our own intuition. That's what the theme is here in the middle of the week, is really pay attention to and value yourself and value the things that you feel and that you hold to be true. The other thing that's happening on Wednesday is we have Mercury in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer. And so this is reminding us that even though we may feel some friction and conflict, those things are never bad. You know, it's friction and conflict are opportunities for expansion if we embrace them as such. So here it's important for us to use, again, our emotional guidance, our intuition. And the theme that's weaving itself through this week is that you, me individually, each of us for ourselves, are being invited to really value and honor the light that we bring, the love that we give, the energy that we carry with us, because we aren't necessarily the communications aspects, as I've mentioned, are simultaneously about the words that we speak, but you can enter a room and people can feel your presence if you've refined yourself, right? And so that's kind of part of what's happening here in this, the latter part of this, the short term of the eclipse season. Then on Thursday, we have Venus in Virgo sesquiquadrate Pluto in Aquarius. So this is going to be some challenges, some inner conflicts, but this time, you know, it's about us, but it's about the fact that we are always inextricably connected to everyone everywhere. It's about this remembering this point of coming online again of, oh, aha, we're all connected, unity consciousness, and to use that as motivation to not only honor ourselves, but to also orient and remember that we don't live in a vacuum per se. We also have Mercury by quintile the North Node. And so this Mercury is going to be by quintile the North Node in Pisces on Thursday, and it's going to be by quintile Uranus in Gemini on Friday. Both of these signaling upgrades and new understandings and new ideas of our communications. And one of the things that I'm mentioning here is this sense of how we vibrate beyond what we speak. That potentially our gift to the world is to really hone the hum that we bring with us. And it's less about necessarily the old school world of who said what and who got this many clicks and who got, you know, this much attention. It's about being within ourselves and being the exact succinct vibration that we are here to be, and knowing that wherever we go, that is the communication, that is the gift that we give. And without speaking, that is felt. especially by those who are energetically sensitive, but everyone is uplifted by it potentially and impacted by it. So this gives us, expands our wheelhouse for how we think we need to communicate, not just not just phone calls, not just texts, not just emails, but there's this vibrational aspect of our communication that is coming online this week and in the future more than ever. As we close the week on Friday, we also have Mercury in opposition to Chiron in Aries. And this is interesting because there might be a sense of an old wound, but what's coming through is that this isn't the old story. This isn't the same thing. This isn't the whatever the story we've told ourselves about the why. It's time to upgrade the story. And if you've done any work with me or done any work with, rewriting past traumas, it's totally possible. It's a lens that we choose to look at when we can thank and bless some of those people who potentially were the most challenging for us. I'm not forcing that upon anybody by any stretch, but when we think about how our soul chooses everything that we're about, and sometimes those challenges are the things that help us keep on the path that our higher self knows we really want to be on. So this Friday, there's the opportunity of a reframe, is what I'll say. A reframe that is a more empowering reframe, that maybe everything happens for a reason. And then we get to Saturday and we have Venus in Virgo opposing the North Node. And here again, this is about kind of an upgrade and a reframe. There's a better way for justice. There's a better way for balance. Potentially some of the old ways that we have been going about achieving these things are outdated, is not the word, but opportunities for upgrade is definitely of the moment. There's more expedient ways to get from point A to point B, to get from disharmony to harmony, to get from injustice back to justice, to get from fear to love. There's this energy that's coming through, beaming from the cosmos and coming from Mother Earth herself, that's reminding us that this is not just us. It's not just on you and me to make these changes, to be the changes. It's on us to stay awake, to harness our vibration. But there are so many forces that are so much larger than us, that are impacting us and impacting our planet. And then I'll close with the last aspect on Saturday is that we have Mercury in Libra, quincunx Saturn in Pisces. And this again is kind of signaling some kind of a long-term effort afoot here. This is just saying to calibrate ourselves and calibrate our expectations and make those adjustments. If we thought we were on a 1-month trip and it turns on, or we're on a year-long voyage, okay, let's just figure out how we can make those adjustments and let it be that is something that we can do. And let's take out the map. Let's figure out where we're going to go. Let's figure out where we're going to stop for provisions. Let's find some fun places to stop along the way. Like, this isn't a punishment. This is an alignment. And this is about us being in the right place at the right time, and spirit and source are giving everything else and anything else into the right place at the right time. And I feel like we will look back and there will be these aha moments, but while we're in the middle, the most important message I think this week is to honor ourselves, to take care of ourselves, and to be willing to pivot creatively with some of the things that we're seeing and experiencing, and to uplift our vibration so that offering is the magnetic communication that we bring with us everywhere we go. Have a blessed week ahead. I look forward to sharing the full moon podcast with you soon. Bright blessings and so much love.